Listen, there's a specific type of woman who's harder to read than anyone else. She's not cold, she's not disinterested, she's actually the opposite. She wants you so badly it scares her. And because of that fear, she's doing everything in her power to hide it, to push you away, to convince herself and you that she doesn't care. But here's the twisted part. The more she wants you, the meaner she might act. The colder she becomes, the more distance she creates. I know that sounds insane. Most men hear that and think that makes no sense. If she likes me, why would she push me away? Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you interpret her behavior. I'm going to show you exactly how to recognize when a woman is fighting her feelings for you, the subtle behaviors that give her away, and the one thing she does that's so counterintuitive. 99% of men misread it completely and walk away from women who actually wanted them. Because when you understand this, you stop second-guessing everything. You stop feeling confused, and you start seeing the truth behind her mixed signals. This isn't about mind games. This is about understanding female psychology at a level most men never reach. And by the end of this, you'll discover the secret psychological trigger that makes a woman stop fighting and finally admit what she's been feeling all along. But first, we need to talk about why strong feelings terrify her more than you realize. And warning, the real reason might make you uncomfortable, the real reason she's fighting it, and why it has nothing to do with you. Picture this. She laughs at everything you say, but then goes quiet for days. She opens up about deep things, then suddenly acts like you're just another guy. She stares at you when she thinks you're not looking, but avoids eye contact when you catch her. You've probably thought she's just not that into you, that you're reading too much into it, that maybe you should just move on. Here's what's actually happening. And this is going to sound crazy. She likes you so much that her brain is literally treating you like a threat, not a physical threat, an emotional one. Why? Because there's a psychological phenomenon that most people don't know exists. It's called high D-ionic reversal. And it explains why the things we want most can also terrify us. Think about it like this. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you almost didn't want to get it? Because if you got it and then lost it, the pain would be unbearable. That's exactly what's happening in her mind right now. The stronger the feeling, the stronger the resistance. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Studies in behavioral psychology show that when women develop strong feelings quickly, they unconsciously sabotage the connection. Not because they don't want you, but because their survival instinct kicks in. Her brain is running a protection protocol. If I don't let myself want him, I can't get hurt. If I keep my distance, I stay safe. If I act like I don't care, maybe these feelings will just go away. But feelings don't work like that. They don't disappear because you ignore them. They grow, they intensify, and they start leaking out in ways she can't fully control. And that's where something bizarre happens. Something so strange that when I first learned about it, I didn't believe it either. The signs appear. The cracks in her armor, the moments where her guard drops just long enough for you to see the truth. But there's one sign that's so shocking. Most men think it means the complete opposite. I'll reveal it in just a moment. But first, you need to understand the foundation. So, if she's fighting her feelings, what exactly should you be looking for? The signs she's fighting her feelings, the third one, will shock you. Before we go deeper, just do one thing for me. Hit the like button because what I'm about to reveal in sign number 3 is so counterintuitive. You might think I'm making it up, but I promise you, once you see it, you'll never misread a woman again. Let's keep going. Here's the first sign, and it's the most overlooked. She's inconsistent with her attention, but there's a pattern to the inconsistency. One day, she's texting you paragraphs, laughing at your jokes, asking about your day. The next day, radio silence, short responses, suddenly busy with everything except you. This isn't her being flaky. This is her fighting an internal battle. Every time she gets close, her fear kicks in and she pulls back. But here's what you need to watch for. Time the cycles. Is she pulling away every time you have a really good conversation? Every time there's a moment that feels too real, too connected? That's not coincidence. That's her panic button going off. And here's the part that will blow your mind. The better the connection feels, the harder she'll pull away afterward. If you had an amazing date and she goes cold for 3 days, that's not rejection. That's her freaking out about how much she enjoyed it. She always comes back, maybe after a day, maybe after a week, but she can't stay away because the feelings won't let her. Next, watch her body language when you're around. This is where the truth lives. She fidgets, plays with her hair, crosses and uncrosses her arms. Her body is literally trying to decide between moving toward you and protecting itself. She might stand close to you, then suddenly step back, touch your arm during conversation, then immediately create physical distance. But there's one specific gesture that's a dead giveaway. If she touches her neck or collarbone when talking to you, that's an unconscious signal of vulnerability. It's one of the most exposed parts of the body, and when a woman touches it around you, she's revealing that she feels exposed emotionally too. And here's a big one. She asks about other women. But listen to how she asked casually, carefully, disguised as just curious. So are you seeing anyone? What's your type? How was your weekend? Do anything fun? But here's the tell most men miss. Watch her face when you answer. If her expression changes for even half a second when you mention another woman's name, you've got your answer. That micro expression is pure jealousy. She's trying to hide. She's probing, trying to figure out if she's safe to feel what she's feeling, trying to see if there's competition. When a woman who's fighting her feelings asks about your love life, she's basically saying, I care more than I want to admit. Now here's sign number 3, and I'm warning you, this one sounds completely backwards. She gets meaner. The more she likes you. I'm not talking about abusive behavior, I'm talking about increased teasing, sarcasm, or playful insults. Here's why this happens. It's a psychological defense mechanism called reaction formation. When someone feels something they don't want to feel, they express the opposite. She'll tease you, make jokes at your expense, act like nothing you do impresses her, roll her eyes when you talk, challenge everything you say. And here's the kicker. The more cutting her comments, the more she's probably fighting what she feels. Why? Because creating emotional distance through humor and sarcasm is safer than admitting vulnerability. But watch what happens when you're genuinely vulnerable with her. When you share something real, her entire tone shifts. The walls come down for just a moment. The sarcasm disappears, and you see the softer side she's been hiding. That sudden shift. That's the real her. Everything else is the armor. Here's another major sign that proves she's obsessed but won't admit it. She remembers everything, and I mean everything. That story you told 3 weeks ago about your childhood dog, she brings it up. That food you mentioned you don't like, she remembers when you're ordering that goal you're working toward. She asks about your progress. But here's what's really happening in her brain. When we're attracted to someone, our brain releases dopamine every time we think about them. That dopamine makes memories stick. She's not trying to remember these details. Her brain is encoding them automatically because you matter to her. When a woman is fighting feelings for you, she's paying attention to everything. Because even though she's trying not to care, she can't help herself. And this next sign is so specific, you might think it's impossible, but it happens every single time. She's nervous around you in a way she isn't with other people. You've seen her confident, funny, completely at ease with her friends, but with you, there's this tension, this energy. Watch her hands. Does she touch her face more when talking to you? Does she adjust her clothes? Does she seem hyper aware of how she's sitting or standing? That's not discomfort, that's attraction she's trying to control. But here's the sign that confirms everything. If she mirrors your body language, leans in when you talk, but then catches herself and pulls back, that's her subconscious betraying her conscious mind. Her body wants to be close. Her mind is fighting it. Now here's what most men do when they see these signs, and it's the worst possible move. What to do when she's fighting her feelings? Most men do the opposite and lose her forever. Now here's where most men mess this up completely. They see the signs, they get excited, and then they make the one move that pushes her away permanently. They either push too hard or give up entirely. Both are mistakes, but one is worse than the other. And here's the brutal truth. If you push for clarity right now, if you ask her to define what this is, if you confess your feelings hoping she'll do the same, you'll trigger her defense mechanism so hard she'll disappear completely. I know that sounds harsh, but when a woman is fighting her feelings, you can't force her to surrender to them. You can't logic her into admitting she likes you. You can't overwhelm her with attention and expect her walls to come down. But you also can't just walk away and hope she figures it out, because she won't. She'll convince herself it wasn't real, that she dodged a bullet, that she was right to keep her guard up. So what do? You create psychological safety, but not in the way you think. Here's the strategy that actually works, and it's so simple, most men overlook it. Be consistent when she's inconsistent. Don't match her hot and cold energy. Stay steady. Stay grounded. Show her that you're not going anywhere, but you're also not desperate. You're just there, solid, reliable, unshaken by her push and pull. This does something powerful to her psychology. It shows her that her fear is unfounded, that you're not going to hurt her, that maybe, just maybe, it's safe to let her guard down. But here's the secret ingredient most men never use. Give her space to breathe, then reappear with value. Don't crowd her. Don't demand answers. Don't ask, what are we or why are you acting like this? Just let her process at her own pace. The more pressure you apply, the harder she'll fight. But here's the twist. When you give space, you can't go silent. You reappear with something that adds value to her life. A funny story, an interesting article, something that made you think of her. This creates a pattern in her brain. When he's around, life is better. When he's gone, I miss that feeling. Be vulnerable first, but strategically share something real about yourself, a fear, a goal, something you're working through. But here's the key. Don't dump your insecurities. Share a vulnerability that shows depth, not weakness. When you show her that vulnerability isn't weakness, she'll start to feel safe being vulnerable too, and that's when her walls start to crack. Don't react to her test because she will test you. She'll pull back to see if you chase. She'll act indifferent to see if you get needy. She'll mention other guys to see if you get jealous. Pass these tests by being unfazed, not cold, not disconnected, just centered in your own value. When she sees you don't need her validation, something shifts. The power dynamic changes and she starts wondering if she's the one who might lose you. And here's the most important thing, the one move that makes everything else work. Live your life fully, whether she's in it or not. When she sees that you're not waiting around for her to figure out her feelings, when she sees that you're building, growing, thriving, something shifts in her mind. The fear of losing you becomes greater than the fear of getting close to you, and that's when she stops fighting. But there's one final thing you need to know, one psychological trigger that makes her finally surrender to what she's been feeling, the psychological trigger that makes her stop fighting. This changes everything. I'm going to tell you something that sounds manipulative, but it's just human psychology. The moment she realizes you might move on, her brain flips a switch. It's called loss aversion. We're wired to fear losing something more than we desire gaining it. As long as she thinks you'll be there waiting, she can keep fighting her feelings. She has time. She's safe. She can keep you at arm's length while she figures things out. But the moment she senses you pulling away, not in a game, playing way, in a genuine, I'm investing in other areas of my life way, everything changes. If this resonated with you, drop a comment with the word thank you so I know you understand this deeper level of psychology. And hit that subscribe button because next week I'm revealing the exact words to say when she finally stops fighting and admits how she feels. You don't want to miss.